Hi, Roger with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This is valid today, Sunday through next Saturday, December the 27th. First of all, we're looking at the current radar and cloud cover across mostly the southern two-thirds of Vermont. A few breaks up to the north. We're seeing cool temperatures and a little bit of light flurry activity that developed from a very weak upper-level system. This is now in the process of working on out. I would expect excellent travel conditions from here on out. Road crews in some of our southern areas in Vermont have had to deal with a little coating of snow in some spots, but this is mostly blowing off the road and melting out, and the roads have been treated. And the current temperature this late Sunday morning, early Sunday afternoon shows that temperatures have been generally cold to the north, associated with an area of higher pressure, and a couple weak upper level troughs kind of working on through with that little weather system. This will be exiting out of the region. Temperatures marginal for snow to the south, not really expecting any accumulation across southern New England. And warm weather, as you can see, temperatures basically in the 40s and then 30s, a layer of 30s, some cooler spots. And then these temperatures a little bit colder in some spots. You see a 7 degree above and 9 degrees above, way up to the north of the Great Lakes. This is the GFS ensemble centered on Burlington, Vermont, and what we see here is just a little smidgen of snow as indicated there, and then temperatures aloft warm up sufficiently, so we'll see basically raindrops, and starting out slow as we get into the 24th. This is the main area, and models kind of centerline on a little bit over 1 inch of total precipitation. This has been questionable. Models have been flipping and flopping a little bit on the amount of precipitation. Northern areas really not seeing near the amount of the southeastern two-thirds of the state. And I think this is how it's going to play out with the bulk of energy working in such a fashion that it'll be a little bit more centered on eastern portions of New England, southern portions of New England, with Vermont kind of split down the middle a little bit. Accumulated weekly precipitation through about Sunday morning shows roughly about 2 inches split down the middle, with the most across eastern New England as just suggested. Okay, this is how it plays out. We have a fairly strong area of higher pressure with very cold temperatures off to the north of us. This is going to be ridging in nicely for Monday morning, so a cool start to Monday. But this area of higher pressure will be influencing up until it looks like very late in the day. A little bit of minor flurry activity returning to southeastern parts of Vermont. Most of Monday should be a good project day for the rest of the state. Now we get into this very light precipitation, comes in sporadically with the lead shortwave aloft, and on the backside of that area of higher pressure supplying a little bit of low-level moisture. As we work in through Tuesday, you can see that the precipitation begins to increase and into Wednesday, and the pressure gradient tightens up, and this is our storm system, which is really not yet coming into complete consolidation. And what's going on here is we have a lot of jet stream energy in the southern part of the United States that's trying to coincide. It's a little bit out of phase. The computer modeling world has been having a lot of trouble with this. So once it comes into phase, it tries to spin up a surface low. And the latest indications, at least with the European model looking at this, is that the strongest area of low pressure off to the west and northwest of us, within 978 millibars there, you can see southeast of James Bay, Canada, then also shifts off to the north of us, and pretty good strong pressure gradient following the front, which could bring us some gusty winds, but it appears that the worst, in the way the evolution is taking place, it's not going to be a very strong southeasterly gradient wind. If it does, it looks like it's really going to be right along the cold frontal passage, roughly about here. And this is valid again as we get into really Christmas morning. So things have backed off in terms of wind for Wednesday afternoon, more centered on Wednesday night, Christmas Eve night, and more centered on Thursday with that frontal passage. And then things generally begin to quiet on down. A little secondary system follows there. A little bit of a gusty wind situation. Looks like below thresholds for utilities as we get into basically Saturday. But other than that, a lot quieter weather, with the main focus being the big Wednesday into Thursday time frame, with gradient winds and tropical-like rainfall. And we're looking at the 850 millibar temperatures aloft, roughly about the top of Mount Mansfield, and this is a good one to determine whether it rains or snows. We get in the temperatures of the darker purples and blues. This is very, very cold, but roughly by around Tuesday morning and through the day on Tuesday, we start to see an increase of warmer air aloft move into the region. This is associated with this very strong trough of low pressure, a strong cold front that's setting up. This is our storm system that's also pushing in much more milder air aloft and changing precipitation types basically to rain with a little bit of a mix at the front end of that somewhere along about Tuesday. But the evolution is such now that the warmest air really moves in on Wednesday and into Thursday morning, and really Wednesday night into Christmas morning. And then a strong cold front whips through, lowering the temperatures aloft and ending any threat for mixed precipitation types or rainfall, and pushes this stronger rainfall off to the east of us. Here's precipitable water. It does show you that some pretty good moisture does make it into the region, and significant enough that, again, we could see tropical-like rainfall. Again, some of the most recent computer modeling gives the strongest or heaviest rains off to the east of us through parts of southeastern Vermont and into mainly eastern New England. And this does push through with the front, and we end the rainfall and the heavier rains during the afternoon, probably by noon hour on Thursday, Christmas Day. And here's another look at that with the precipitable water. We get into the blues, which is 7, 8, 9/10 of an inch, and the lighter greens here, and as it shifts to yellow, is really what we're concerned with. And this is pretty high right now, above climatology at this point. But here comes the front, and that's 7 o'clock in the morning. This is 18Z, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So very strong frontal passage with wind shift. So we're going to take a look now at the precipitation totals here, or not totals, but each 6-hour panel. And this is what I was talking about, where the heavier precipitation, generally a little bit to our east. Really can't count on that right now, the way this has been setting up. It's very uncertain at this point in time. We get into, again, that 6-hour panel. Roughly, this is up through about 7 o'clock in the morning, Christmas morning, Thursday, through in the afternoon, and then precipitation lightens up. But we also note that we'll probably see a little bit of snow shower activity, especially in the higher terrain. And this is wind speeds, and we're looking at an increase in winds that kind of ramp up through the afternoon on Wednesday. We get into the yellows there. That's better than 50 miles an hour. That would be valid about 7 o'clock in the morning on Christmas morning, and then things kind of fall off, but still pretty blustery and windy on the backside of that weather system as the front goes on through. And it looks like we're looking at winds that will then gradually ramp down. Looking quickly at temperature, this is the 7-day weighted average of high temperatures only, not low temperatures, but your maximums. And anomalous, we're looking at temperatures that will be weighted roughly around 15 degrees above normal. So well above normal temperatures, and this is largely from that push of warm air that will make it into the region. It looks like for the early to mid part of the week, and then be erased with that Christmas front that moves on through. 3 to 7 day forecast, max temperatures only again. Looks like 3 days later, weighted temperatures 12 to 15 degrees above normal for the greater area of the northeast New England. And then we're looking at much cooler weather beginning to work its way across the country and lower the temperatures to either near neutral or a little bit below normal. The Iowa State Mediagram Generator shows, centered on Montpelier, shows temperatures kind of all over the place here, but a general ramp up in temperature as we get into Wednesday and Thursday morning, Christmas morning, and then the cold front passes and we're seeing a general cool down. Nothing real extreme really ahead or during or behind that frontal passage. Temperatures will be too warm to snow, as it looks right here, until we get that Christmas morning frontal passage, and then temperatures aloft crash or fall significantly, and we're starting to see those temperatures make a fall, but nothing real significant in terms of cold Arctic air making it into the region, not yet. And a quick look at 7-day snowfall. The most snow, obviously, in the northern areas, Northeast Kingdom. Some reports of 4 inches in the eastern part of Franklin County. Really not significant over the last 7 days. Of course, everything fell before this time period. And this is snow depth, and what we're looking at here is 33 inches at the stake atop Mount Mansfield. The heavier snow depths are up in parts of the Northeast Kingdom. This is Joe's Pond, I believe, or it could be Walden. And the snow depths are starting to come down. It's those valley areas I would have the most concern with any tropical-like rains that come with this next weather system for Wednesday into Thursday. And this could be losing a lot of our local snow. Same kind of deal along the Connecticut River Valley. Snows are basically just too deep and will likely absorb a lot of the rain. But stay tuned. I would defer any questions on any kind of flooding issues to the National Weather Service Burlington and Albany. So once again, this is going to be the main event here. We got gradient wind issues as well as a major amount of higher precipitable water, which can introduce some pretty heavy rainfall to some parts of the region. So we'll be watching this very carefully. Things are shifting around. The models are not consolidating like they would normally ahead of a big, large storm like this, as the jet stream is coming in. Jet stream energy comes in little pieces, and things are just not quite coming all together yet. So further updates, of course, on this impending weather system affecting us on Wednesday and Thursday. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.